Hello, hi Memo.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi. Could you please introduce your name, myself?
I'm Marjorie Rubio. They call me Margie for short. And
Yeah.
I'm the grandmother of 12 grandchildren.
Yeah.
I have I had 3 girls in a row and then a boy, all married with children.
Okay. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the mountain province in the Philippines. I went to Kiangan Elementary School in Ifugao
Mm.
and went to high school because my father was a um, a school supervisor, like a superintendent, and he was moved from one place to another. So when I was in high school, I went to Antique High, that's in Visayas.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to deal with different kinds of Filipinos, the North and the South.
Um, what do you remember about living in the Philippines?
Oh, it was very hard to live in the province. I lived in the hinterlands, and so it was mountainous. We had to climb stairs, several stairs going to school, like 300 steps going up the school.
Mm.
And then it was hard, but all of us were wanted to be educated, and so we loved going to school.
Mm.
Uh, what else?
Um,
My classmates were going to school in their G-strings.
what do you mean by G-strings?
Oh, the costume that was
The bahag?
their clothes, the bahag. That was really their wear every day. They would go to school in G-strings, the boys. But the girls, because they were already modern, of course, they used dresses. They would only wear their costumes, their tapis, they call it tapis, on special occasions.
Oh.
But the men, they would go, like half of the class were in bahags, in G-strings.
Is this for elementary or
Elementary, that was
elementary school? What college did you go to?
Um, when I finished the high school in several, I went to Antique High, then my father was transferred to Isabela, so I finished high school in Isabela. From Isabela, we went to Manila,
Oh.
where I went to college at the Philippine Normal College to be a teacher.
Oh. What did you teach?
I finished my bachelor's degree in education in 4 years.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was different. They would give us the block system. We would enroll, and they gave us a section where we would go and we would follow the same. We had the same classmates in college, and we had the same subjects all throughout the year, and every year until we finished.
Oh, wow.
I was still in college when my friend asked me to teach in a private school in St. Mary's College, third graders, grade 3. And I enjoyed it. They were, my students, my pupils were children of rich people in Manila. Their parents were businessmen, rich ones.
Oh, wow.
And I remember that my first Christmas, during my first Christmas there, teaching, I had a jeep load of gifts from them.
Hmm.
The parents had to help me bring home my gifts. It was a jeep load of gifts from my
People.
pupils.
Oh, wow.
And what else?
I know.
Then after that year, 1 year, I finished my college from the Philippine Normal College, a teaching institution.
Mhm.
I went to Bontoc,
Mhm.
the capital of the Mountain Province, where I really did community work. My father, being the superintendent, sent me to a barrio. A barrio is a very small place with a small school with only like maybe first grade to third grade classes.
Mm.
And when the children reach their fourth grade, they have to go to another place to be able to, they have to go to the main, to town, to the town proper, to be able to finish their elementary schooling. So I was, so that was my real first experience as a teacher in the barrio. We call that a barrio, a small place with few people in a community.
I know that you lived through World War II and you experienced it. Could you tell me about your experience during World War II?
Oh yeah, okay. When I was a kid, I think I was 4 years old. I remember Japanese. We were in Solano, Nueva Vizcaya, because originally my mother and father lived in Solano, Nueva Vizcaya. So
Mhm.
I grew up really in Solano, Nueva Vizcaya from, I don't know what year was that, but I was 4 years old when the war broke out. The Japanese were in town, and there were no more classes. I was 4 or 5 years old, and I remember the Japanese people got my father. They said that they thought that he was an American because my father's name is Felix Bronner. And so they thought that he was an American. Actually, my father is half American and half Filipino. His father is from Kentucky, United States, and he went to the Philippines as a soldier and married my grandmother, because I think my grandmother was was the one washing his clothes, and that's how they met. But they thought that my father was an American, so they brought him to prison. They put him in jail, and before I think he was in prison for like 2 years with my grandfather. Both of them were in the same small room with 50 prisoners. Nobody. My father was saying that they could not. They had to take turns to sleep because the rest of while half of them or 1/3 of them were asleep, the rest were all standing because there was no space where to sleep. And before he was released, when they learned that he was not he was half American, but he was not a soldier. They thought he was a soldier. They told the Japanese people that he was a sensei, a teacher.
Wait.